to. And, because you want to feel good about yourself, you want to feel, you know, that vibe, and you want to be reminded that you are special, that you are somebody, that you deserve to feel that love, that care, that nourishment, right? So I absolutely love that song. I absolutely recommend that y'all add that song to your playlist, because not every time do we have people in our lives who are going to remind us and reassure us and validate us. And sometimes we got to do that for ourselves. And so I'm so grateful to Lizzo for putting that into a song and giving us something to listen to that would generate those feelings, and that would generate that state of being, of knowing that we are somebody, and that we are special, and that we are divine, and that we are sacred. So I recommend that song. Peace, Kayla. You missed the song we just listened to, Special by Lizzo. I recommend you go and listen to that song, and I recommend all of y'all listen to it. Like, if your energy's kind of low, you're not feeling confident, you're not feeling assertive, you're not feeling like, you have what it takes to complete whatever mission that you are needing to complete, play that song, let it inspire you. Let it move you into your growing, into you being better, and all of that good stuff. All right. So today, the topic is recognizing your reflection, but I want to do it differently today than we've done in the past, right? Like, I'm not going to show a PowerPoint or anything today. I literally want to have a conversation with you ladies and help you to help each of you individually or collectively. Like, if you want to share, I am more than happy to engage with you, listen to you, and give you feedback based off of what I'm hearing. But I want to help you to be able to recognize your reflection in your relationships, right? Now, why is this so important? It's important because if we can recognize our reflection in our relationships, we can make the adjustments that we need to make to, one, have healthy relationships, right? Have relationships that serve our. Two, we can make the internal changes that we need to make to end certain toxic partnerships, certain toxic relationship habits that we find ourselves in. Or three, we understand, all right, this is no longer a person who I want to relate with. Their energy is no longer in alignment with who I'm becoming. And we can feel confident in walking away and surrendering whatever that aspect, whatever that quality, whatever that personality trait was, whatever that emotion, whatever that thought form was. When we can recognize that reflection that is being presented to us by whoever we're relating with, then we can do the work that is required in order for us to create the relationships that we want. And so all of us have relationships, whether it is your relationship with your mother, your brother, your children, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, whoever. We all have relationships that we want to improve, or that we want to end, or, we all have this. And so if we could recognize what a person is showing us and why they are showing up in our lives, then we can do what is necessary to make sure that the relationship is what we need it to be. Whether that means not being in a relationship at all with this person, or whether it means, okay, I need to do this internal work so that this relationship can be healthy. All right. Peace, Micah. Hope you are well, sis. Glad to have you here. We just listened to the song Special by Lizzo. I want you to go and listen to that song when you get a chance. Special by Lizzo. Before we get into talking to each of you individually, I want to tell y'all about an experience that I had yesterday. And the reason why I want to talk to y'all about this is because we have to be vigilant when it comes to ourselves, and we have to be vigilant when it comes to the people that we love and care about. So yesterday, my friend Victoria, all of y'all have heard that name before. She had a pool party for her son. Her son turned 3, had a pool party for him. And we're at the pool party and we're having a good time or whatever. and one of Victoria's uncles arrives to the party. And, he takes off his shirt, he gets in the pool, and he's in the pool, but he is spending so much time with the kids. Like during the whole 2 hours or so that we were probably there, he never, spent quality time more than 2 or 3 minutes with the adults. His attention was all focused on the kids. And so this energy was very off-putting to me. And it had me concerned, right? And so, and actually, I forgot that I felt this awkwardness from him because I felt it in the past, but I hadn't seen him in a year or been around him in a year. So I didn't even put 2 and 2 together that he would be showing up to this children's birthday pool party where you got kids in their swimsuits and all of this stuff like that. So, at the beginning of the party, Dream is in the pool, and he's the one that is taking care of KJ and Kara, and I'm holding on to baby Kim, sitting in the little shallow area, and they're playing. So he's not engaging with our kids because there's this strong masculine figure there where we don't need you, sir, to entertain them. They're fine. He's playing with other little girls in the pool that are his nieces or whatever. And then at one point, Dream decides, okay, I'm going to get out the pool because he's tired, he's hot, he's been in for a while. And my energy is like, I'm like, babe, if you're getting out the pool, I'm getting in the pool. So I got in the pool, and the dude, my friend's uncle, he's acting like he's playing alligator with the kids. You're doing too much. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. Okay, you're doing too much, but trust me, I'm aware and I'm in tune and I'm just paying attention. And so he's playing alligator and he tries to pick up Kara. And I had to go and, grab Kara from him like, no, we're not doing that. You don't have to pick her up. She's not your family member. She's not your daughter. She's not your child. You don't hold her. This is what I'm thinking in my head. I didn't say it out of my mouth, but I just moved her from him. I'm sitting her down. I'm talking to her in the pool. And then I have her swimming with me. He tries to come and pick her up again. I'm like, no, she's good. She's with me. She's with her mom. She's fine. She doesn't, blah, 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 blah. We get out the pool. The kids are sitting down eating pizza. He comes and he puts his head on top of Kara's head. And he says, I'm just going to sit here and watch you eat. And I'm like, okay, Rodney, she's fine. Let her eat. She's good. Why am I telling y'all this story? I'm telling y'all this story, one, because after he put his head on her head, I'm like, all right, babe, we got to go. We end up packing up our kids. We like, we're leaving. I'm telling y'all this story because there are these spirits, these energies, these entities that are present that are predatory. Let me let Iman into the room. There are energies, right? Peace, Iman.
Peace. Sorry, I went camping last night and I just woke up from a nap. So,
girl, be great. Girl. Be great. You are absolutely fine. I'm telling the story right now. I'm gonna fill you in. But anyways, we went to the pool yesterday, and this guy is being predatory. Okay, he is. The reason why I had to tell y'all this is because I want y'all to be vigilant when you are around certain people with your children. I want y'all to be aware and be conscious that these people do exist who have these spirits attached to them, who are in their lower nature and who, who have ill intentions, whether they are conscious of it or not. And so how this guy was really pursuing Kara and having to try to be close to her and having to try to say things to her and all of this stuff like that. Like at the beginning of the party, he comes up to her and he says, do you remember me? Yeah, your mama, da, 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 da. No, she don't remember you. She don't know you. Why are you asking her, does she remember you? Okay. So I just want to talk to y'all ladies because some of you have children Or maybe some of you were children and you dealt with this type of energy, and maybe somebody wasn't observing what was going on. I want to tell y'all that there are men and women out there who have that predatory energy, okay? And they try to prey on children by way of having fun. Oh, I'm the fun uncle. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick you up and we can play and we can do all of that stuff like that, but their energy is ill. Their intentions are ill, okay? And so I had to share this with y'all because I'm like, I really wanted to go live on YouTube and talk about it, but I really don't want to give it too much energy because I had to do a lot of spiritual work, purging and cleansing to get that energy, that frustration, that annoyance out of my spirit. And literally Dream and I was up all night just thinking about how this slimy, just low vibrational, like you're a grown man at a child's birthday party. That is your nephew. You ain't even giving him all of your attention, right? You really giving the attention to all the little girls that is in the pool. And you don't have no small children here. You don't have no small children here. So if you're going to be in the pool, you should be in the pool talking and being entertaining with the other adult women who are in the pool. That's what you should be doing. But your focus is on these little girls that are in this pool. And one thing about me is I am vigilant. So anytime he thought he was going to get close, no. And then it just got to a point where Dream and I made the decision, and I told Victoria today, I had to let her know. I said, here's the thing. Your uncle is mad weird. He has predatory energy. He does things that are inappropriate. And if he is going to be at any event, my family and I, we can't come. And Victoria respected me so much for telling her that because that needed to be said. I said, I don't know if y'all are having a conversation amongst y'all's family, but for absolutely no reason should this man spend 98% of his time entertaining kids than being around other adults. That is a predatory energy. You're not even letting my daughter eat in peace, okay? So y'all have to pay attention to family members, friends, whoever, even the people that you probably feel like you can trust the most. If they are, when it comes to your children, if they are constantly kind of, all up in your child's face, you need to be vigilant. You need to pay attention. You need to watch out for that, and not even your child. This is your niece. This is your nephew. This is your little cousin. This is whatever. If you witness that energy, you need to be vigilant, right? All up in their face, trying to be, all super nice and treating kids, one child better than the other. Pay attention to this behavior. And here's something that I had to talk to Cara about. And I talked to KJ about it last night. I said, Mommy wants you to have fun. I want you to have fun. But my ultimate job is to make sure that you are safe. And so sometimes what you may feel like is fun, like playing crocodile with this man who you don't know because all of the other kids are playing crocodile with him, you may think that that is fun. But if I tell you, no, you cannot do it, trust and believe it's because your mother loves you and I want the best for you. And I want you to be safe and I want you to be happy. And I want you to really remain pure of heart. And sometimes people, adults, may, they may push fun, but not really have good intentions with you. Okay? They might not really be trying to do right by you. And so I just wanted to share that with you ladies, because that did definitely just happen yesterday. And it was a heavy spirit that I had to really, really work throughout the night. Like I didn't go to sleep until like 2 o'clock in the morning, really just kind of binding that energy up and working out in my mind how I was going to move forward. And a part of that was setting standards between Dream and I, agreeing that only person that can pick up our child is us, is me and him. No uncles, no grandmas, no grandpas. Don't pick up our child. We're not doing play fighting. We're not doing wrestling. We're not doing those things. If my child, and it's gotten to the point right now to where we are even agreeing that whenever, and this guy is not even in my family. I'm not even gonna see this guy again. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm like, no, if you're gonna be somewhere, if my friend Victoria is throwing a family party, we're not coming. And I told her, we're just not coming. We don't have time to have to deal with that energy. Not gonna do it. Okay. But we've made the agreement that we're even going to talk to, like, when my brothers come over, when my dad comes over, their grandfather or whoever, it is being made clear to them, this is the standards of how you are going to relate with our children. This is what it is. And if y'all can't understand what we are putting in place for them, then the relationship is going to have to change. Then maybe y'all not coming over as often. Maybe we'll only see y'all at family gatherings or something. Okay. But the reason why I had to share that with you ladies is because all of us have people in our lives who we love, have young people who we love, who we adore, and who we want to remain safe. And so I want all of us, all of you ladies, to be conscious and to be aware and to not be afraid to speak and to look these energies in a face. It's funny because when I told my friend Victoria, I told her today, a couple of hours ago, and I told her how I was feeling. She was like, girl, I felt your energy yesterday. She said, for some reason, I just knew you were uncomfortable. I knew something wasn't right. And so I'm glad you're telling me, because you confirmed what I was feeling from you. And now I truly see and understand that this is a problem. You know, and then she was able to connect some dots from other people in her family who had talked to her about issues that they were having with that uncle. You know what I mean? That uncle's own son and daughter-in-law and granddaughter have a problem with him. And so I said, I'm telling you this right now, Victoria, because me and my family, if you're doing a family gathering and he's invited, we're not coming. And I'm telling you this right now because for the safety of your children and for any other child that may be in a space or vicinity with him. Now, there's two sides to every coin. One side could be, oh, he just loves children. Oh, he wants to just have fun with children and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But that other side, that predatory side, we got to learn to really trust ourselves. Because the feelings that I was having, the uncomfortability that I was having was a sign, right? It was a message from my higher self letting me know what I was actually observing. You understand? And so it's a very real thing in that instance. If I wouldn't have felt the uncomfortability in my being, it probably wouldn't have been a problem. It probably would have been nothing. For example, my father, great father, great grandfather. And sometimes he plays with the kids and wrestles and does all of this stuff. And I tune in with my energy to see, okay, what am I picking up from here? Am I picking up any deviancy? I tune in with myself to ask if I'm feeling that. And I haven't felt that. And even though I have not felt that with my father, I'm still going to put those boundaries in place because I want my children to know that there is a certain way that adults should engage with them. There is a right way and a wrong way that adults should engage with them. So that when I am not around, if there's an engagement that is not in alignment with the boundaries that we've set, they will know, okay, something isn't right with this. Okay. Shay, I'm gonna use you for example, Shay. Because I remember when we did coaching, you told me a story about you dancing in your little dress and there was company over. And your mom told you, stop, sit down, whatever it is that she told you, and that broke your heart. I'm here to help you understand right now from experience that mothers have that sixth sense. We know. And when we feel that, sometimes it comes by telling the child no, and children don't understand that. And that's why as parents, we have to be able to have better communication. So that's why with KJ and Kara, right when he tried to pick her up, and I was like, I got my child. I talked to her, I said, no man should be picking you up. Mommy and daddy only pick you up. We're going to be the people that keep you safe. You can have fun with us. I love you. And I took her for a swim around that pool, right? I went ahead and had that conversation with her. So we got to stay vigilant, because there are people out here who are in their lower nature. This is men and women. And when we observe things like this, we have to make a decision. We got to make a decision. And that decision has to be your child coming first, not the opinions of these other people. And here's the thing. Oh, come on, Spirit. Here's what I need to share with y'all. If you've ever been mistreated by an adult, if you've ever been abused by an adult, if you've ever had an awkward moment with an adult, that is not your fault. Why do I say that? A lot of times as parents, we tell our kids, say no. And then the kid is like, well, I said, in the kid's mind, the kid is like, okay, well, I said no, and this still happened. Now I'm ashamed because obviously I did something wrong. And that's not the truth. And so a lot of times people who experience abuse, they don't know how to release the guilt that they feel within themselves, because parents just taught them, say no, say no, say no. If you say no, it's not going to happen. And we know that that is not true. A kid can say no over and over and over again, and another kid or an abuser will still do what they're going to do. But then the kid turns around and thinks that it is their fault that this thing happened because they said no. They're like, okay, maybe I didn't say no strong enough. Maybe I didn't say no hard enough. Maybe I da 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 da. So we have to be clear within ourselves and with children that it is our responsibility to protect children. We make them aware of what is appropriate and what is not, but it is our job to protect them. And so as I felt that energy, I was an intentional barrier between my child and this man. And then it got to a point where I'm saying, okay, we're just leaving the space completely. Okay. So I definitely wanted to share that with y'all, because don't take this shit for granted. Because I speak to so many women who've experienced abuse. So many. And it's just like, and it's a very heavy thing to let go of and to purge from your system and from your body and from your spirit. And so I just wanted to give y'all that so that you are very vigilant with your children, and so that you don't deny your own instinct and intuitive knowing, right? Your body, your energy will tell you. And I'm telling you, when he hopped in that pool and he was playing with other girls before he started trying to talk to Cara and KJ, was playing with other girls, and I was already feeling awkward about that. And I'm like, do y'all mothers, are y'all not picking up on this energy? Are y'all not picking up on this? Because this doesn't make sense, you know? So I just wanted to give y'all that. I gotta make sure that y'all know this, right? Because as mothers, grandmothers, daughters, whatever, you need to be aware, you need to be vigilant, you need to be so tuned into yourself that you can pick up on these energetic shifts. Because my energy shifted when he came into the space, right? When he came in, I was like, something isn't right. Okay. And I almost, in a sense, wish, I don't want to say wish, but I'm like, okay, I could actually act faster. The kids were safe with Dream, because when you got that energy there, this spirit, this entity is like, oh no, I can't mess with him right now. I can't do that, right? But I almost, in a sense, wish that when Dream got out the pool, that I would have just made the kids get out the pool too and just be done. Because when I got in the pool, his energy was almost like he can go back and forth with me. And you can't go back and forth with me, but that's what his energy was trying to do, right? That's what his energy was trying to do, since I've been knowing him since I've been like 14 years old. I've been knowing him since I was 14, so he thinks that he has some type of authority in my life. But when it came down to Dream, you have no authority here. You have nothing when it comes to me and my kids. But when it came down to me, he was like, oh, I've been knowing your mama since she was in ninth grade. And, he tried to come with that type of energy. So I want you ladies to pay attention when these energies present themselves. And it doesn't happen often. But when it happens, you need to be tuned in. Like that is not something, that's not an everyday experience, right? But I knew a year ago when we came into contact with him around our kids, he was doing too much. He was too much in their face. That was a year ago. And then come back around another year and you're doing the same thing. Okay, now I got it. Now, we can't come to birthday parties for your kids, Victoria. If y'all are not going to make sure that he's not here, we're not coming. Okay. And so sometimes, ladies, you have to be willing to make those decisions. It's what? Victoria's feelings or my child's safety. That's what it boils down to. And I'm choosing my child's safety. But what I love and respect about Victoria and the reflection that she gave me is when I told her how I was feeling, it was automatic. I got you. It was say less. It was say less. She was like, you know what? You telling me this, it's over. Like it's done. I gotta check him on multiple levels. Cause this is what she said to me on the phone today. She was like, I've been needing to check him. On just other stuff of him feeling like he's the authority over our children. I've been needing to say something to him about it. He's always been doing too much. I was like, yes, there's a problem there. And I ain't telling y'all what to do with y'all family, but I'm letting you know what I'm doing with mine. And y'all don't need to let that energy, that spirit continue to circulate around y'all's family. I know he your uncle and all of that good stuff like that, but y'all need to do something about that, like for real. So the reflection in her and the reflection that she was giving me was just this feeling of what it is to be a mother, a protective mother, a mama bear. There ain't nothing wrong with being a mama bear. You have to be ready to snap off heads and destroy and kill for yours. Okay? Anybody want to share on anything that I just said before we move on?
The fact that he kept trying, that's very disturbing because I would have said something to him, not causing a scene, but I would have pulled him to the side. It's like, hey, I've already told you twice in the pool that, these are your kids and I don't feel comfortable with, other people, around my kids. And then for him to approach her at the table while she was eating, yeah, he would have had some words to him because
Listen, this is Kara's head. This is Kara's head right here. My hands are Kara's head. He puts his head over her head and said, I'm about to just sit here and watch you eat.
Yeah.
Girl, I about wanted to I really wanted to kill him. And right there at that moment, we literally, immediately get up. Let's go. We can't even stay to watch y'all open these presents or whatever. Let's go. And Dream and I had made up in our minds, like that's just it.
Right.
That's just it. Cause you about to get killed up here at this baby party. You about to get killed at this baby party. And so, bringing the awareness to Victoria, I think was a big deal. Cause it's like, you need to know what's happening. Like, y'all need to not be acting like y'all are ignoring what he is doing because y'all know this shit is awkward. It's not right. Why did he spend majority of his time talking to kids? And he 50-something years old. So let me read what Margaret said. She said, it's so important to tap into that energy with any and everybody. You can't put these energies past anyone. Don't have to wait for something bad to happen to be alert. I love this. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was saying that I commented while you were saying it because I was just thinking about this very creepy man that used to come around like the parties, like at my culture's parties. And I remember there was a day, like he would always say stuff like, oh my God, you're the most beautiful baby in the world. I'm gonna marry you. Like weird stuff like that. While there was no, he would say like, oh, she's so pretty in front of the other adults. But like one day he like was trying to catch me lacking or something. I think I was like 4, 5, maybe. And he's just like saying like, you're so beautiful. I'm gonna marry you. Just he said it so many times that day, and I started crying. And my mom, I didn't even say anything to my mom, but she already knew from the fact that he would always be like, oh, you have such a beautiful, pretty baby, that it was him. And I'm going to be real with you. I'd have never seen that man again. I'd never seen that man. Like I haven't even thought about it like until today, but I know, just like my mom picked up on my energy, and she was like, oh, my daughter has a headache and she don't like when men touch her. Don't touch her. Like, don't touch her. She don't know you like that. Back up. Don't stop telling her she's pretty. She knows she's very beautiful. But like, yeah, she checked him, but I never saw him again. So that's
Absolutely.
a lot of strength to you in a situation like that, because that's just not even cool. That's not even cool. But I'm glad Victoria took it well, what you said.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's what I was getting ready to say. Like that is a testament again of the importance of sisterhood. Because even though she may have recognized that was something that needed to be checked a long time ago, that's family. So she could have reacted in a completely different way and taking offense to it, and you tripping,
Right.
and ain't that deep. But the fact that she was open, and the fact that she said for herself that she was able to pick up on your energy, it's just again a testament to the importance of genuine sisterhood.
Absolutely.
Where you can just speak your truth and it be received in love. So that's dope.
Absolutely. That was a very and I already knew I was going to tell her. Dream was like, you sure you want to say something? Or because we could just separate ourselves. I was like, babe, you know how many times I've thought about separating myself from Victoria, and Spirit was like, that's not what is being asked of me. And so it was funny because we were kind of talking about it, and Victoria had called. And I said, damn, babe, here go Victoria calling right now. And so I didn't pick up the phone because we were in the middle of a conversation. But when I called her back, we were talking about something other than, and she brought up the pool party. And I said, yeah, I got to talk to you about that because I can't be around your uncle no more. Like, he absolutely has made me feel uncomfortable with my kids being even in the same space with him. And it's unacceptable. And and by the end of our conversation, she was just like, thank you so much for telling me this. I'm so grateful that we have that relationship to where you can let me know. And she also said, and I'm grateful that I'm able to receive it, because that's not something that's easy, for people to receive. But I feel you, I know you, I love you, and you don't ever have to worry about that again. She was like, I'm nipping it in the bud. And it's crazy because she also brought up this guy, he has a granddaughter, and she was like, but did you see what happened with so-and-so? I was like, no, I probably was leaving. And she was like, yeah, his granddaughter's mother was even like, nah, she's good right here. She's fine, blah, 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 blah. Because he was trying to put her in the pool. He was like, come on, let's get in the pool, da, 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 da. And the mother was like, no, we're good. No, she's fine. She's going to go and she's going to say hey to everybody, and she's going to da, 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 da. And so when I said that, and she paid attention to how she made the connection to how her cousin-in-law was feeling, she was able to be like, okay, this is something that absolutely needs to be addressed, right? And so it definitely was a beautiful conversation, and it gave me more peace, because you gotta speak to these things. We cannot let things like this continue to happen and nobody say anything about it, or we brush it under the table, or we push it under the rug and we say, oh no, that's just his personality. Fuck that.
That part.
I just straight up fuck that. If that's your personality, then your personality and my personality and my kids, we don't, that's a relationship right there that will never be continued. You're done. When you come in, if we just so happen to cross paths, I promise you, my family and I are walking out. you won't even get to say, hey. That's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Because the next thing is you're going to be getting killed. And that's just it. That's just it. And so it's so important to have these conversations with anybody who you, and here's the thing, it's hurt somebody's feelings for an inclination or your child potentially being at risk. Oh, your feelings about to be hurt. Your feelings about to be hurt.
And then also, DeRay, you have also spoke up for other possible instances that will happen in the future, because now there is attention to it. And once
Absolutely.
you place attention to it, then it's with it, so while you're doing it was to protect your family, speaking up is protecting other families as well. So
absolutely. And that's what I told Dream, and that's what I told Victoria. I said, look, I'm telling you this because it absolutely made me uncomfortable, and you could feel my energy. If that ain't even my energy of being uptight and tense. Like I trust that everything is working out, but and I told her, but I'm really telling you this because there were 2 other baby girls there, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old that he was playing with like crazy, and nobody was keeping their eye on. I was even looking out for the other girls, right? So I'm like, I'm telling you this because you got nieces, you got cousins, you got your children, and you have to be vigilant. Y'all be at the house, having a barbecue or something like that, and you like, well, where's so-and-so at? No. Be vigilant.
Present. Be present.
Be vigilant. Be present. Be in tune. My kids are never going nowhere and me not knowing where they at. I see you at all times. At all times. So I definitely had to speak to that. And that was the lesson for me. Speak to that energy. Look that energy dead in the eye. Because once these energies, no matter what type of spirit it is, once you look at it and you speak to it and you bind that energy up, it runs away. It's like, oh, I can't do this here. You damn right you can't do this here. You can't do this here. This ain't the space. This ain't the household for that. And that's just the reality of it. People do things that they feel like they can do because they feel like a person is not protected or so on and so forth. Right? So this is a very sensitive topic, but I'm like, I know I have a plan to talk to y'all about, your reflections and your relationships. And I think Victoria still gives me that testament of that reflection. But I had to talk about this with y'all, as a Sacred Sister Circle, because not only do I give to y'all, but y'all give to me. And so sharing this with y'all and getting y'all's feedback, it helps me. It helps me to continue healing and releasing and understanding how I move as a mother and as a woman and as a wife and et cetera, et cetera. Like, y'all are my people. Just as much as I hope that I give to y'all give to me. And we just had to talk about it. Janet, you got your hand raised. What's up, sis?
Yes, I just wanted to kind of add on to what you were saying and why it's so important to follow those promptings. Because growing up, like my dad's side of the family, it was mostly female. So it's large family. I think it's 9 of them total and 3 were boys. So most of my uncles were in-laws. Not that it makes a difference, but they were in-laws. And so, growing up playing, in the country, you stay with your cousins, you go visit with your cousins because that's all who's there. But I never could go. We never could go. And every time it came up and I was like, hey, can I go with my cousins? Whatever house, my mom would be like, well, they can come over here. Or the answer would be no. So after a while, people kind of stopped asking. So I think one time I asked my mom, like, why couldn't I go over there? And my mom's reasoning was normally something doesn't feel right. And that was generally her answer to everything. If she couldn't have a concrete answer, it was like, yeah, something about that doesn't feel right. And she was always right. Well, is always right. I'll say that.
Mhm.
And I think one of the reasons why she probably didn't speak up or vocalize a lot is because a lot of people thought my mom was in hoodoo. And excuse anybody you can hear in the background, they're through the wall,
You're
so they can't
fine.
even hear me.
You're fine.
So flash forward to years later when I'm at one of my uncle's funeral, okay? My cousin comes up to me afterwards and he's like, hey, just short conversation. And he's like, Uncle so-and-so was talking about you. And I'm like, what do you mean talking about? And he was like, yeah, it was him and a bunch of our other uncles sitting down talking and looking at me and saying, he looks at my cousin, at the time, 21, 22, and my cousin is 17. And he's like, you think she effing yet? And he's looking like, what? Because he said it caught him off guard. He was like, yeah, she's filling out, and he's talking about my body to my cousin, and he's like, ew, no, and I don't know, I don't care, kind of blowing it off. And so it's funny now thinking about it and looking back, because those were the same group of uncles that were my cousins that I was hanging with, playing with all the time. My mother never told me why I couldn't go over there. She never told me why I couldn't go to their house. But after that conversation back then, now I know why. Because she saw something in them, may have saw the way they looked at me, or just got a feeling. And nothing ever happened to me. I never heard of anything happening to anybody else, but that doesn't mean that wasn't the case. But
Right.
just hearing that someone's having such an explicit conversation about me as a child, and these are some of them were with my aunts when I was born, and so just to hear and see how they were looking at me, of course you feel, makes you feel gross or whatever, but it just goes to show you that no matter who it is, whenever you get that feeling, whenever something feels off, go with it. Because I think her just saying that, nope, you can't go over there, may have saved me from some, even if it was just an awkward, uncomfortable situation to be in.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Even if it's just, you're getting the creepy crawlies over your body, and even that, because even me just sitting there, even watching him engage with these girls, and I'm like, I'm trying to entertain them too, but I'm holding Kimmy. I'm like, okay, come here, baby, come here. I'm trying to get them. But even just, you feel that energy.
That's how they play with us.
Yeah.
That's how they get into you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're perfect. You're fine. You're
But
fine.
that's how
so
they
true.
Yeah, but that's how they play with us. Like, I didn't, growing up in the country, tomboyish, you play sports or whatever, and they all were physically active, so they're in athletics, so they all played with us. So not in our mind are we thinking about anything like that as children growing up. So most likely he was using that as some type of outlet to get you to let your guard down. And being that you were the female, it's like, okay, even though that's not the case, you're the weaker of the two. So physically you can't overpower me. So I'm going to try to intimidate you another way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they do it, these people who have this spirit attached to them, they do it through, especially when it comes to kids, they do it through play. Make a kid feel very comfortable and playing with them and jumping on them and wrestling and all of that stuff like that. But on the low, you have these ill intentions and you touching here and there, you doing this, or you accidentally touch a vagina, you accidentally touch a butt in the midst of playing. And what they're doing is grooming the kids to think or feel like this engagement is normal. And so that is why it is also important for us to speak out loud around our kids so that my kid hears what I just said and you hear what I just said. So if the opposite happens, my kid knows, oh, okay, my mama just said that should not be happening. So we have to, we definitely have to, as mothers, we have to lean into that and really embrace that and not give a shit about who is going to like it or not even your kids. Because at the end of the day, when you get older and you understand these nuances of relationships and you understand the difference between an adult and a child, and you understand what sexuality is, you'll be like, damn, mama, thank you. Thank you. And like you said, Janet, even some of those moments of just awkwardness, where you can just feel that slimy, you can feel these spirits now. You can feel when somebody has ill intentions. Whether they are conscious of their intentions or not, you can feel that, right? I felt that energy before by even just being in the same space with somebody and just feeling like, okay, there's something not right with you. Let me get out of the space. Let me move, right? So that is so important. That is so important. So thank you so much for sharing that, Janet. That's a powerful story, a powerful testament to what we are discussing here. And I wanted to make sure that I share this with you ladies and let you know something that I just experienced, that predatory energy, that just unhealthy stuff. Definitely have to make sure that I share that with y'all, just so that you could pay attention to your own life and even reflect on some experiences in your past, where maybe you as a child were, maybe if it wasn't, abused, or molested or things like that. But even if you felt that energy, because that energy you can shut down just from feeling that and lose a certain level of trust in people, right? So definitely want to talk about that. Really quickly, because I'm not going to hold y'all up for long, but really quickly, when it comes down to recognizing your reflection in a person, in order for you to be able to do this, you have to be able to self-reflect. Okay? I was talking to a client yesterday, I had a consultation, and in our conversation, I was like, damn, this is a perfect example of what I need to talk about with the Sacred Sister Circle. But she was talking to me about her relationship, and she was talking about how, the guy was unpredictable, the guy was inconsistent, and that she really just wanted a safe space. She wanted to be in a relationship where she felt like she can be vulnerable, where she felt like she could express how she feels, where she felt like there was true intimacy present. And so as I'm talking to her about it, and she tells me all of that, she explains to me that about the guy, and she's talking to me. And of course, I asked her, okay, well, tell me about your relationships, when you were younger, what were they like? And she explained to me that she had a biological father and an adoptive father. And she explained that both of those fathers were alcoholics. And what are alcoholics? Unpredictable, inconsistent, and they're not a safe space. And so she had attracted this guy who she was in a relationship with because he reflected to her fathers, her biological father and her adoptive father. Not that the dude she is dating is an alcoholic or anything like that, but he reminds her of the beliefs that she has attached to in regards to relationships. So much so, it got really deep because I asked her, I said, well, if you could have the ideal relationship, what would it be? I asked her, if you could have the ideal relationship, what would it be? How would it be? And she says to me, well, at minimum, and right when she said at minimum, I said, you see, sis, you don't even allow yourself to want better, to want more. You went automatically to at minimum, meaning just give me the basic. Just be there once a week or twice a week at minimum. So the way that this man is showing up in her relationship is a reflection of her own internal state of being. Another very powerful example of your relationships reflecting to you and how to recognize them. Another powerful thing. She said she wanted an intimate, vulnerable, emotionally safe space. But then I asked her, she starts crying, right? And I asked her, I said, well, tell me what you are feeling. She says, well, I don't know if this is a feeling, but I feel like I'm a teenage girl or something like that. Immediately when she did that, ladies, she judged the emotion that was coming up. How do we know this? If somebody if a grown-ass woman says that she's acting like a teenage girl, that is not a compliment. A grown-ass woman is not proud to say that she's acting like or feeling like a teenage girl. So in that moment, I was able to reflect to her, what you are asking from this man, you are not giving to yourself. You said you want emotional safety. You said you want intimacy and vulnerability, but right when you start feeling emotions, you talk down about yourself because you're having feelings or because you are experiencing a high level of emotion. So this happens with us all the time. And in that moment, I was able to pause her, like literally when she said, I feel like I'm being like a teenage girl. Immediately when she said that, I was able to stop her and say, what you just said right there is a judgment of the emotions that you are having. And because you are judging yourself for having these feelings, you are unable to feel safe emotionally with yourself, and therefore you cannot feel safe in your relationship. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying to you that the very things that stand out and stick out to you within your relationships with other people are the very things that you need to look at and reflect upon within yourself, right? So even Victoria in this moment, being very receptive of me in this very critical, crucial, deep conversation is a reflection of what I do on a daily basis, right? Though it doesn't pertain, when I'm talking to coaching clients, a lot of the stuff doesn't pertain exactly to me and my own experience, but I still have to hold that space and be receptive in these very intense emotionally and spiritual situations. She was reflecting to me my capacity to sit in and remain present in heavy emotional situations. Okay, ladies? So for you to recognize your reflection in the people you are dating, one thing that is so important is you have to recognize what it is that you are actually needing and wanting out of your relationships. Right? You got to really ask yourself, what do I really want? What is it that I am truly craving from my relationships? And you have to ask yourself, am I giving this to myself? Whatever it is that you're thinking that you're wanting, whatever it is that you're feeling like you're needing, you have to ask yourself, am I legitimately and holistically giving those things to myself? And I promise you that if you spend time reflecting on all the things that you don't like about the person that you are in a relationship with, whether it is your mother, your brother, it doesn't matter who it is. If you reflect on all the things that you don't like about how they're showing up in y'all's relationship, you should be able to determine what aspects in you are soliciting that experience. Right? She wanted a vulnerable space, but was unable to be vulnerable with herself. She wanted an emotionally safe space, but she was not emotionally safe with herself. And we discovered that immediately when she judged herself because she was about to cry. Those emotions started coming up and she said, oh, I'm feeling like a teenage girl. Judgment of what she's feeling. And so if she couldn't give that to herself, another person is now going to be able to give that to you. Now, this can also happen on the flip side as well, with positive things, right? Like patience. That's a big one in relationships. Patience, grace. Grace. Do you give yourself grace so that you can give the people you are in relationships with some grace, some mercy? That's funny because in my dream, grace and mercy was coming up in my dream. Okay. Those words were coming up in my dreams last night, and y'all know I didn't sleep last night. So, not giving this dude no grace and no mercy. No. He's not getting any. He's not getting any. Giving myself grace and mercy for even immediately when I saw his presence, I should have been out the door. All right, girl, we gone. So I'm giving myself grace and mercy for for not moving as quickly as I could have, for not having that feeling of uncomfortability and immediately doing something about it, right? Because when I had that uncomfortability with even just his presence, I was like, well, everything's okay. He can be a weirdo over here. You know, the kids are with their father, and I know with their father, they're ultimately safe, right? But even in that moment, I could have still wrapped the whole thing up. Like, come on, babe. Y'all get out the pool. Y'all get out the pool. We'll come back later, another day. So I'm giving myself grace and mercy for not moving faster, because I could have been faster. Upon entrance, upon, hey, how you doing? Upon all of that, I could have been like, okay, we're gonna go. But now I know, right? But now I know. Now I'm more tuned in to that as an option, right? As the only option. If I'm feeling uncomfortable in a space, I don't have to stay there. My children don't have to stay there. We don't have to wait it out to see, let's see if it's really that. Let's see. No, we don't got to do that. Uncomfortable, move around, giving myself grace and mercy. But because I'm able to give myself grace and mercy, I'm able to give people who are worthy of my grace and mercy, I'm able to give that to them, right? Whatever a person is showing you in your relationships that is highlighted, right? That is meaning something to you, it is just reflecting to you an aspect of you. And the more you can recognize whatever that quality, that character trait, that personality, that energy, the more you can recognize what that is, the more you can do whatever that needs to be done in order for you to expand on that thing or in order for you to release it. Okay? We have to understand this. We choose to relate to people based off of our level of consciousness and where we are at and what is going on inside of us. I want you ladies to truly understand in your relationships, it is not about the person, the human themselves. It is about the energy that is flowing from them. It is about the beliefs and the emotions that they are holding on to that are being reflected to you, right? And what is being reflected to you is your own thoughts and your own beliefs, your own emotions, your own shit, you know, that you feel great about and the things that you need to work through. I remember Micah, Micah hopped off of here. I remember Micah told us a story at the very beginning of the Sacred Sister Circle that I can't even tell the whole story. I wish she was on here. She done hopped off. Anyways, ladies, I want you ladies to understand that you have the power to tune in and transform your relationships. But in order for you to do that, you have to hold that space for yourself. You have to hold that space. Okay. You have to hold that space for yourself. Okay. You have to hold that grace for yourself. You have to be reflective and internal. And whatever it is that you are desiring, when you do it for you, other people will do it for you. And if they cannot do it for you, then you know then that the relationship must change. Does that make sense? Y'all let me know. Recognizing your reflection. When we are feeling triggered, when someone makes us feel joy, when someone makes us feel beautiful, they're just showing us what is happening within us. Here's a great example of this. When I'm feeling good about myself, when I'm feeling sexy, when I'm feeling all of that stuff, that's when it seems like dreams give me the most compliments. Oh, babe, you been working out? Oh, babe, them workout pants look good on you. And it's not because my body has changed. It's not because the pants that I got on are new. It is not because I've been doing squats. That is not it. It's the energy that I'm giving off. And so in your relationships, ladies, it's so important to ask yourself, who was I when I attracted this person? What energy was I holding on to when I first started engaging with them? What was my mental and emotional space? Because here's the thing, as we go through relationships, we'll forget. We'll forget what that initial attraction was. And when you want to change and transform your relationships, you have to observe what that is. Because when you change with that initial chord, that initial connection, that initial energetic stream, When you figure out what that is and you transform the thought, the emotion, or the action that has created this energetic cord, then the relationship shifts and it becomes something different. Okay? So I want you ladies to truly, truly understand that. And the way that we do this is by leaning into how we are feeling. As women, our superpower is within our feelings, within our emotions, right? And this is not an excuse to be irrational. This is not an excuse to be a crazy lady who doesn't know how to process her emotions, who is just everywhere emotionally. That is not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is that you can tune into how you feel and understand when something needs to change, and understand when something isn't right, and understand when something is good, when something is well for you. And when it gets to that point where you're like, okay, there's something that I'm missing here. There's something that isn't resonating with my spirit. When you understand that and you feel that, you must be willing to ask yourself, this is something internal. It's never about the other person. But you ask yourself, okay, what is it that he or she is doing that is triggering me, that is bothering me? What is it? It's the way that he talks. It's, his energy. It's the nuances. It's all of those things. And then you got to ask yourself, okay, well, what in me is actually frustrated or annoyed with that? One thing that I've had to learn in my relationship with Dream is that I don't do loud voices. I don't do loudness. If you're getting loud, I'm shutting off. It's going to be a problem for me. And I had to realize that and recognize that and realize that I was being shown a part of, my past whenever things would get to that level. I had to be like, okay, this is a part of my past, and that's why it's really bothering me. It don't have to bother me, but it bothers me because it's reminding me of some old shit, some unresolved trauma. That is recognizing the reflection. And when you recognize the reflection and you reconcile and you do the internal work, how you perceive the people that you are relating with, how you perceive the things that take place in your relationships, it changes. Okay? So I'm gonna leave you ladies with that today. I know we talked about a lot, but I just want you ladies to know, trust how you feel. And if you're having a feeling in an inclination or a sensation that is not pleasurable and that does not feel good, you have all the power and all the authority to do something different. You have all the power and all the authority to do something different, to make a change, to make a shift, to remove yourself, to speak to it, right? To say and to voice, this doesn't work for me. Right? Or to say, I know I attracted this situation or this circumstance because this was how I was thinking at first, but how I was thinking at first is no longer in alignment with how I want to think and how I want to feel and what I want to experience. And so I get to change that. I don't have to keep on reflecting old shit. I don't have to keep on seeing old stuff that is not in alignment with what I want to experience. And when you recognize that the things that are not in alignment with what you want to experience, and you do the work to shift that and to change that, now what you are seeing and what is being reflected to you will be the new state of being. Okay? So I love you ladies. Engage with me in the Geneva app. I'll be posting stuff. I'm gonna start posting just random fun stuff. Maybe not so heavy. I'm not gonna post such heavy stuff. I'm gonna post some fun stuff like let me tell you ladies this, at Target, I don't know if y'all's Target is doing this, but my Target for the last couple of days has been having underwear, panties, 7 pairs of panties for $20. The Alden brand. And I like that brand. Their cotton is really nice at Target. So ladies, gift yourself some new undies. I've been with Dream for 8 years now. And though it's been him and I, and we consistent and we this and we that, I still like to get new panties and bring in new energy for myself. Now, of course, if you're just getting out of relationship, then you need new panties anyways, because the old panties hold on to the energy of that old relationship. So you need to be getting new panties anyways. But even if you're in a committed relationship, get new panties anyways to shift that energy, transform that energy. Throw some of them old ones away. If the drawer is full, there's probably some that need to be thrown away, sis. Go to the store, invest in yourself, get some new ones. Get some new ones. Get rid of that energy. Purge that energy. Get it off of you. Okay? Bring in some newness. All right? That's my last little tidbit for right now. I love you ladies. Message me on the Geneva app. I'm here to support y'all. Anybody have anything they want to share before we get off of here?
No, just thank you and I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. And thank you, Iman. Thank you, Margaret, Janet, Cherise, Shay, Kayla, Erica. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for always being a listening ear. Thank you for letting me bounce ideas off of you ladies. And I just want to be a safe space for y'all as you are for me.
Thank you.
Of course, Shay.
And the whole panty thing, thank you, because yeah.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time, girl. Get you some new ones. Get you some new ones. Get
Thank
some...
you, D-Ray.
And I wish I
Yes.
went to yesterday because I went to Target yesterday too and didn't even go down there. I'm just waiting.
Girl.
I'm going back.
I need to go to Target
back.
too. I feel you, Shay. I gotta go to Target.
Go back.
For
Go
sure.
back. Go get y'all some. Go get y'all
Bring
some.
that new energy in. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, bring that new energy in. Absolutely go and do that.
You know, it was the fact that you just said that, right? Because I've been thinking about how, like, you know, I told you, like, I relocated. I'm not where I was when we started Sacred Sister Circle. And I just been thinking about my stuff. Like, in my mind, I keep being like, oh, I miss the comfort of having my stuff. I'm being real honest with myself about it. And, you know, like, I just realized, like, as you're saying that, I was like, I don't want my old shit. I want new stuff.
Okay.
Like, I want new stuff for myself. I'm already doing new things. So like, I feel like I'm just harping on it because like, we're still manifesting. I'm bringing the crown back down. I was moving it up, right? But I'm bringing the crown back down. I'm trying to manifest on this physical plane. And I'm a Capricorn, so I'm good at it. But I got to get me some new panties. I think that's like the first step.
Girl, yes, and you get in the mirror and you just go side to side and you just like, yes, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. But yes, Margaret, thank you for sharing that. And I'm proud of you, sis, with your new creation. I'm gonna be getting that too. I'm gonna be getting your book. I'm gonna be getting your other book. And then yeah, we gotta share. You are creating a new healing center or something, huh?
Yeah. I'm working in collaboration with some people that I know from the Boston area. I'm trying to make it a network since I'm here. I'm in Virginia and I'm in Boston, like back and forth. But yeah, I'm gonna go get I was asked, my friend in May, on like May 20th, she told me, she was like, Margaret, you know, I really hope that you're working towards becoming a doula because I would love for you to deliver my baby. And I was like, oh, why you? I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. She's like, yeah, whenever I have kids. And then 3 weeks ago, she messaged me and she's like, hey, remember when I said I would love for you to deliver my baby? And so she's pregnant. So she wants me to, I'm going to be getting my certification. Yes, Sister Iman. And I am going to be working with her sister-in-law is a midwife. So I'm going to be working with her. That's going to be like my first birthing situation. I'm so excited.
Beautiful.
Like it's all in alignment.
Amazing. That's so funny that you say that because I was just asked to be somebody's doula as well. I'm not even certified. But yeah, somebody that I know was like, will you be my doula? I'm like, I know I delivered 2 babies at home, but I'm not even certified. But I do have some information. So that was something that we were talking about. Wow. So that's just mother matriarchal sisterhood energy supporting each other as we go through these portals and these moments of transformation. So I love it. I am so proud of all of you ladies. Kayla, shout out for you for coming through, Kayla. Shout out for you, Janet. Thank you for sharing your story. Sharice, shout out to you, girl, for showing up. Give yourself a hand clap. I know this information was intense. And moving forward, we're going to start talking about sacred service. We're going to be talking about purpose work. We're going to be talking about all of that good stuff. And I love you, ladies, and we'll be talking soon.
Love you.